Hey everybody, just trying to bring things up to date. We've been traveling. We made it to Nova Scotia like we wanted to. Here's the events as they followed, leaving Maryland. I took a couple of notes because it's a lot of things to get to, and I want to make sure I cover a few of them. If you're driving any electric car, then I guess Tesla, you know it's kind of pain in the butt to travel through. Um, We'll do another video of the stuff we carried, but this one I want to kind of cover what we did. So we made it to New Jersey, easy peasy. There's a lot of EA Electrify America chargers on the way. A couple when we had a problem, but mainly 350. We saw as good as right around 220 up to kilowatt charge rate down to about a 110, charged by 80%, and drove the normal speed, all-purpose mode, low setting, not the lowest, but the low setting in all-purpose. And the truck did great, loaded up, it's averaging about the same as it did before. And then in New Jersey, after meeting, hanging out with the niece, we also stopped in Queens. This TV episodes we watch is called Somebody Feeds Phil. If you're old enough, you'll remember Everybody Loves Raymond. He's a writer for one of those. He's got a really good show that shows all these different places he goes, and eateries and foods you can have. So one of the places we wanted to do, Natalie's vegan. I'm vegetarian slash eat fish every now and then kind of deal. Well, now recent more than then. So this place is in a temple. It's called a Temple Canteen in Queens. South Indian food. We don't eat much South Indian food, so it was worth trying, and it was great. I loved it. Pulled into one of the harbors. Gorgeous sunset by LaGuardia Airport, and ate it back of the pickup truck. I'll try to insert some pictures of this stuff as we go through, because there's, like I said, there's a lot of things to cover. And then from there we headed north to avoid most of the cities. We don't like cities. We've been through pretty much all of them. And then from there we went to Neshoba Valley Winery. It's a beautiful place. It's a nice place to just take a breath. And from there we got in Maine. That was in Massachusetts. So Maine, the last charger, a fast charger, is the southern part. As soon as you enter Maine, there's a Walmart in Scottsboro, and I will highly recommend charging there as long as you can, because after that, until you hit Canada, you don't have a charger or a high-speed charger. There's a lot of 7-8 kilowatt chargers. You might find some destination chargers you can, as long as you have an adapter to charge, but that's slow as heck. So we charged there to, I think it was 90-95%, and until then, before that, we driven all-purpose, low, all the truck loaded. We'll go through what we have in a truck in another video, because there's a lot of stuff we carry, and still doing pretty good as far as mileage goes. After that, we switched to conserve, because I wanted to make it to Canada, and we end up going through Skiddick National Byway by Acadia National Park. I think Rivian should put a destination charger here, because there's no chargers. We did charge by mistake at the park. Funny, because I had read somewhere you can unplug our cars and plug yours. It was a 7 or 8 kilowatt charger. We needed some charge, so we got to the park. I saw a couple of parked cars, plugged in. I unplugged. It was middle of nowhere, so unplugged their car and plugged the truck in while we went out for a hike around the mountain area. And we noticed in the gear guard there was cops checking it out and whatnot, so we luckily didn't get towed, and we unplugged. We had a 20-30 miles in a couple hours. We were there and got out of there. And then pretty much from there we stayed on Route 1 by the coast after we avoided the cities. Very limited charging. We got on Route 1, stayed pretty much on the coastline, slow and steady. We stopped at Machias, charged for about 20 minutes. There's free charger, little town, great fish and chips, lovely people, and it's right on the coast. And highly recommend stopping there if you need a fast charge, or you're just trying to go the scenic route in. instead of just taking the fast lane. And from there we crossed the border. Highly recommend this border. We never had as good of luck crossing any border, especially Canadians, or any border period. St. Stephen's was really pretty little town. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we in and out of the border. There was no traffic, zero traffic. We were the first car in, or there was another car, but 2 boots open, in and out in a couple minutes. And you get in town, make a right, and you'll see a brewery, and there's a e-charger. It's a 50 kilowatt. That's the best you're gonna get in Canada. We plugged in there, charged until we were about, I want to say 80% or so, because there's pretty much chargers through Nova Scotia or Canada. Through New Brunswick, it's e-charger, and through Nova Scotia, it's called Flow chargers. They're about 50 kilowatt. There's a Petro-Canada. I wouldn't trust it. We tried a couple of them. It's supposed to be 200 kilowatt. None of worked. We've been going with about 50 miles, 50 to 70 miles reserve, because if one doesn't work, we can always get to the second one. And so far, until we had to reset the truck a couple of times, charging reason, I'll do another video on that just to see what kind of things we were dealing with. So far we had done about 1,500, close to 1,600 miles. We've been averaging around 3 miles per kilowatt, which is to me pretty good. And but mostly we've been driving at speed, under 70 miles an hour, or 65, whatever this local speed is, or under 70, staying on local roads. Mostly conserve on that just to get further out, because 50 kilowatts being charged, I mean, it's not as slow as 70, 72 or 78 kilowatts. 50, it's still slower than 150, 200 kilowatt. So we're trying to avoid those too many stops. And then locally, we've been mainly on all-purpose mode, as far as the backcountry, the gravel roads, dirt, sand. Most of the beaches we've been, and so far 3 kilowatts per mile. I mean, 3 miles per kilowatt. It's pretty good. And that's about the updates we got. So far, truck's doing great. We did make a couple of calls to Rivian on a couple of things we need fixing. Like, one thing, I'll give you a hint, you can't switch the units to kilometers. So driving in Canada, you kind of want to know how many kilometers you're doing. The one nice thing truck does do, which kind of confusing at the same time, it does translate sometimes the speed in miles, but it doesn't tell you it's translating. So it's randomly, could be 100 kilometers, or it could be 52 miles an hour. So it does random things. We'll get into this more as we go through, but for now it's doing great. We've done about 1,600 miles in the last couple of days, or 3-4 days, or whatever day we're in at this point, and very happy with it. And we'll do another video, like I said, on the gear and the way we have been traveling, and we'll try to put as many pictures as we can to show you where we've been so far, because like I said, we've been pretty much off the beaten path in the middle of no places. So we'll work with that. We'll added pictures. Until then, please like, subscribe, comment if you have any issues or any question about the truck and travel in Nova Scotia. Please let us know. We got friendly people walking at the beach. We're a gorgeous beach here. This is another place we like, or we found today. We're supposed to be at a different spot. We drove on the beach, and then we end up at this spot. Well, again, we'll take some pictures, edit some information here. If you plan on traveling Nova Scotia, you'll love this area. People are extremely friendly. Beer's great, and the weather is gorgeous, especially this time right now. Supposed to be expecting some rain tomorrow, but we'll figure that out when we get tomorrow. Until then, enjoy the outdoors.